was that driven force of like, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove these people that I could do it. As a little girl, I wanted to be a scientist. Now, hear me out. I wanted to be a scientist because that's all I knew, that would be something that would allow me to invent something that is going to change humanity. Listen, as I tell to my kid, now that he's applying for universities and whatever, and I say, when I was in high school, I couldn't wish to become a coach because that job didn't even exist. I didn't know about it. So it's just for me to encourage him, like, hey, this is what you fired up about, go for it. And just know that you get to change your mind, and life happened, and you always land when you need to land. And that's that. I learned later on, looking back, when we do this self-discovery work, and like, how do I show up in life as an adult, what that is coming from, like, here I am 40 something, and I'm still learning how to celebrate and be proud of myself. Of course, I don't know how to do that because I never learned it. I never experienced it. And now I just find out that that thing exists. There is all these things that we look at it, oh, it was so hard, and it was. It's not that it wasn't, but it's like, it's so much good in it, and that's what I choose to focus on, and that's how I build a business around, right? Being driven by proving that I'm gonna do it anyway, and that was the motto. But I realized that I don't need to prove anything to anybody, but that's what got me into surviving all the shit that come into my life up until not too long ago, right? Was that driven force of like, I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove these people that I could do it. That was my fuel. And who's to judge that that's not a healthy mindset or whatever? Like, it got me here, so I get to appreciate that. I truly believe into exactly what I'm teaching these days. Fear is there. You take the fear, you put it in your pocket, and you go with it. Because it's not about avoiding it. It's not about going through it. It's not about overcoming or whatever the BS tools are there, what to deal with fear. It's about doing it anyway with fear. And then, of course, we get to look at fear and understand what it's coming from, what it is, and what is that, and how. But I'm doing it with fear. I flew across the Atlantic Ocean with fear. I've been living in fear for the past pretty much a decade. Like, just being here in United States and everything that I went through, and I went through a lot, it was fear was there all the time. I learned how to acknowledge it and to stop resisting it and stop being so scared of it, and actually just, even love it. Is like, it's fear. It's a little bit of tension. Okay. That's how it feels like. And I'm going to do it anyway. Everything was different. Like, I needed to calibrate and adjust to everything. Like, no exceptions, including learning a language. Not fit in any box in any circumstance, and I'm really proud of it right now. Like, this time is really part of my mission to break the boxes, and let's find out what is it for you and break the rules, right? But it's you look back and you see it like right through. It's like, I didn't belong anywhere, and I felt lost, and I felt all that. But now, with that experience, when I'm like in a situation like I don't belong here, the energy is different. Like, oh, I don't belong here. I had to make my own space. Okay, when you're lost and you don't know and you're all confused, it's like, let's get back into what was the reason that you actually start this damn thing. because we forget. So it's always good to go back. A lot of things hold me back, for all the time. But at this point, I believe that I was born with this fire and with this, like, my personality, like just being independent and driven and make everything possible that I ever dream or desire. Because really, I mean, look, I don't want to look like an asshole, no labels, but there is nothing that I could dream and I cannot have. I was in that shelter, I dare to dream, like from ego, for whatever, it doesn't matter. But it was like being this famous person that I'm traveling the world and I'm on big stages and everybody's looking at me like I'm some freaking god. Like that was in my imagination, right? And then I was just like panicking, like, who do you think you are? Look around, where are you? Like, you don't even exist in a system. Like, what the, don't say that out loud because they're gonna lock you up, right? And then 10 years later, I'm in a different country every month and I'm speaking on big stages. We don't get to plan on everything. And when we are doing it from a place of love and serving, that's when things are opening. And all we have to do is like, yes, with the fear in the pocket,